Hello, everyone, and what day is it? Happy Tuesday. Give me just 1 second. I'm hoping to bring a guest on the show today. Hoping she comes on. There she is. And we are bringing Dr. Shannon on the show. Oh, can you hear me? Oh, wait, I have to put the right headphones in. I had the other headphones in. Okay, can you hear me? Are you there? Dr. Shannon, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you talk? You can't hear me. Can you hear me now? I can't hear you. Please, you can hear me.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. Awesome.
Yeah, I had this problem one other time. Now that I remember, if you have the headset, it doesn't work.
Okay. So we figured out how to bring you live. For some reason, it wasn't working on my laptop. I think my laptop is actually like exhausted from this 21-day summit. And you're the second guest that I've had on the show in just one day. So thank you so much for being here, Dr. Shannon. You have a lot going on in your world. Let me give you a quick introduction so our audience can know who you are. You're a chiropractor, you're a life coach, you're a mom, you're the best-selling author of Date Yourself Well, which there's actually a story behind that. When I came up with Mend Yourself Well, I was like, gosh, that sounds so good. Why does that sound so good? And then like after I came up with it, I was like, yes, that's what it is. I realized that you have your book, Date Yourself Well, and I called you and I said, I promise I wasn't stealing. So you're superstar. You're celebrating today the 400th episode of your podcast. That itself gives me goosebumps. Your podcast is Women Sipping on Life, and you just have so much value, wisdom, inspiration to share with our audience. So thank you so very much for being here on top of all the things you're having to do. You're getting ready for a move, but you're here because you're committed to helping women mend themselves well. So tell us a little bit about who you are, what I've missed, and fill in the blanks for us, Shannon.
Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me to share. And thank you for that great introduction. I appreciate that. Because yes, today's a big day. It's a big celebration of 400 episodes. As you know from doing the podcast, it's a labor of love. Without a doubt, it's a labor of love. And sharing a message is like one of the greatest gifts and honors, but it's also one of, it's like every day we make the conscious decision to show up and continue to speak up. So, who am I? I'm no different than any other woman on planet Earth, any other human that is continuing to make those decisions, to show up every day and to continue to be authentically who we are, and mending and bending and not breaking. And even if we breaking through every single day, because life really is, I call it a soul adventure. It's sipping on life and no longer drowning in it. And that's really when my life started to mend and to heal, was when I made the decision that I was no longer going to drown in it. And it was back after my last divorce, and I was like, I'm drowning in my life. There's got to be something here that I'm not seeing. And I went all into my heart and soul. I said, I am going to date myself well, because how it all began for me was, after my last divorce. It was the middle of the night, and I heard the voice of God in my heart. And I heard, Shannon, do you love yourself? And I was speechless, Dr. Jenna. I was like, for the first time in my life, I don't even know how much time passed. And I was just sitting there like, mouth open. Like, I didn't know what to say because my mind went crazy. It was like, why am I being asked this? God knows everything. Why? Like, you know, and if anyone else had asked me, I would have said, of course, because in my mind, I didn't hate myself. But I found out very quickly that the opposite of love isn't hate, it's fear. And so there was definitely fear there. But I sat there and all of a sudden I heard this in my heart. It's okay, I understand. Because in order to love you, you must know you. And in order to know you, you must spend some time with you. So I was like, all right, well then what? What now? And I heard date yourself and date yourself well. And I was like, okay. So I made the commitment, the unwavering commitment to pursue my heart and soul for no other reason but to love myself. And it had nothing to do with anyone else. So that's what I did. And that journey started many years ago. And it's been such a soul romance and adventure ever since. So that's really what's brought me to today, you know, really. I'm so grateful.
Yeah. And I don't even think, I mean, it took a dark place for you to be there, but I think that this is a great message for anyone, even if you're happily married. I mean, and have children. Like, it's so important. I ask everybody who joins this community 3 questions, and 2 of them are, what is your struggle with mending yourself well? And then what are you currently doing? Some women aren't doing anything, and because they say they don't have time. But it's like, you have to make that time. Like, these are the messages we're sharing. You have to make the time to date yourself well, to work on self-care, to work on your soul, to work on your spirit, so that you aren't an empty vessel, so that you can make love with your life, love your life. So tell us a little bit about your title, Making Love with Our Lives, and why you have such a passion and calling to share that message.
Thank you. You know, really, when you think about it, a lot of times what brings us to the dark place is not love, but love lost. And when that happens, a lot of times love gets a really bad rap. And I speak with countless numbers of men and women, but especially women, that'll come to me and they'll be like, you know, my heart is broken, I'm broken. To which I respond, you're not broken. All the pieces are there. It's simply putting them together in the way that you would desire to do that. But what happens is they'll come to me and they'll be like, you know, I'm afraid to love again. But yet that's all they really desire, is they seek this love life, this life that they love and this partner to do life with. And I'm like, wait a minute, until we stop working on ourselves, stop trying to get better, stop trying to fix, and instead work with ourselves and truly make love with our lives, we'll never actually create the desires of our heart. And so it starts on the inside. And for years, Jenna, I was running, trying to fix myself or to try to fix other people. So if he just was doing this, then I'd be happy. Or if they were doing this, I'd be happy. And one day I just was like, that's it. I'm going to stop fixing. And I really dedicated my life to finding my life, and finding my truth. Because when you think about it, when we meet someone that we do fall in love with, it starts with the whole dating process. So it's not about just, you know, people think self-care, oh, it's the mani-pedi, it's the massage, it's all these things. No, that can be a part of it, but it's all the inner stuff. Because if I'm coming to you saying, hey, I'll be your friend, or hey, I'll be, you know, the love of your life, but you have to change, you have to fix yourself, you have to do all these things, like no one's signing up for that. But yet we do that to ourselves. We expect ourselves to do all these things and to become all this before we love ourselves, instead of saying, you know what, I accept you as you are. And we're going to date each other and we're going to get to know each other. And in that process of getting to know, we're going to grow. And then we're going to start flowing in that. And in that process, becoming naked and unafraid, unashamed, unapologetic, and then unconditionally loved. And then from there, we can start creating together, you know, with ourselves instead of against ourselves. So That's what it means to make love with our lives. And man, the offspring, Dr. Jenna, as you know, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. The offspring is incredible, you know?
Yeah. I mean, the Mend Yourself Well community is a byproduct of that very same journey with myself, of just like being just lost and knowing that I had to fill up myself by getting to the root. And it's like this message that's coming up in every interview. It's like the answers are always within. Puzzle pieces are always within. We just have to give them attention. And so I love everything you're doing. Talk about the idea of not being broken, because I feel like feeling broken is a theme that is really near and dear to a lot of people in this community. And you talked briefly about it. You're not broken. All the pieces are there. So you were too once feeling broken. So can you like speak on that a little bit more into detail?
Thank you for asking that, Jenna. This is huge. And for all of you, dear souls that are watching and will be watching, no matter how broken you feel, you think about it. If you have a clock that's not working, we would say that's broken. But the reality is you have to look at your life and say, again, all the pieces are there, and it's about getting it working. It's not about good, bad. It's not about right, wrong. It's about what's working. And what was working before may not work now. So we get this idea of like, this is the one way and it's the only way. And if it's not that way, then it's broken. But think about this. Think about a puzzle. When you get a puzzle and you put it all together, and now you take it apart, you don't say it's a broken puzzle. We don't break a puzzle. We simply take the puzzle apart, no differently than we put it together. But the thing is that when we have all those pieces, the only way you're going to put that puzzle together is to start looking, first of all, at what is the, where are the boundaries? Like, where are the end pieces? Where are the corner pieces? And then we look at the picture, like, oh, that's what it's going to look like. And unfortunately, what we're doing is we're trying to do what we think it's supposed to look like or what it should look like, instead of saying, what's the desire of my heart? What would I like this to look like? What would I love this to look like? And then you go, oh my God, could I put that together? And you're like, yeah. And if you look at the word together, it's to get her. Stop trying to get it all together and instead get her. Get to know her. And when you do, all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, my pieces are starting to come together because we're getting her. And that's a big difference, because people think they either have to get it all together before they can be lovable, or they still see themselves as broken because they're trying to put together something from the past. We can't undo it. We can't relive it and keep our eyes there. Then we'll continue to recreate it. The only thing we can do is say, this is where I am today. These are the pieces. Get her. And then let's get together and watch what happens. It's miraculous. And I will tell you, the after picture looks completely like a 180 from where it did in the beginning. But all the pieces are still there. We put them together differently. And so if you don't like the picture you're getting, well, then look in your heart and see what your heart's desiring, and get your focus somewhere else, which is on the desires of your heart, on what you desire, not what you don't desire. Because the one thing I forgot to tell you is, after I heard that question from God, and then I heard, get to know yourself, then all of a sudden I heard, stop accepting what you do not desire. And that's like the missing ingredient. Stop accepting what you don't desire. We keep accepting what we say we don't desire. But we keep putting our eyes on what we don't desire. We're going to keep getting more of it, for real. That's the way it works.
Yeah. Yeah, so perfect. And I'm sad because we're having like I'm catching most of what you're saying, but there's some internet glitches, and I don't know if it's me or you, but I'm getting the gist of everything you're saying. But I am putting it all together like a puzzle piece. So it's like it's still perfect. This is still a perfect message. Um, Gosh, I have like I know we could just sit here and talk all day, but I want to ask you. You've written the book "Date Yourself Well." How do you feel like the message of "Date Yourself Well" is parallel to "Mend Yourself Well," and like shine some of your light on those two messages and how they're very parallel?
Well, think about this, Jenna. In Mend Yourself Well, it's all about healing, right? And if we really desire to heal, we have to feel. And the only way to feel is to go all in. And that to me is like, it's dating our lives. It's dating ourselves, saying, hey, I want to know you. Like, I want to know what I know about you. And I'm willing to love you unconditionally. And when we get into that sacred space of unconditional love, there's no greater healing. There's no greater feeling. And guess what? Like, that's where the mending happens. Because I remember, again, I heard a voice, God's voice in my heart, when I was thinking, after my heart had been broken, there was this feeling of being afraid it was going to get broken again. And all of a sudden I heard, you can never have your heart broken again because I'm the glue that holds it together. Like, yeah, true love holds it together, even in the most dark, devastating times of loss. That's life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's true love life.
I love it. It's almost like trippy, everything that you're saying today, because you are repeating all of these themes that have just come up in the last like 4 hours for me. And I'll say a couple of them. Earlier, I interviewed Katie, and Katie is the creator of A Sacred Space with Katie. You've already said the word sacred space. She talks about the puzzle pieces. She talked about that today, and we talked about how mending yourself well it's a puzzle. And we talked about that already. And then I just got off the phone with my coach and mentor, and we were talking about the idea of going all in. And like, if you really want to up level your life in whatever life, whether it's your marriage, your dating relationships, your business, whatever it is, when you commit to going all in, like that's where the magic will happen. But on the other side of going all in is like being on the fence and being scared and not falling head first in love with the process. And so I love everything about this conversation so far. It's just perfect. It's so perfect. And it's a good reminder to everyone watching is like, just you're in control. Take the reins of your life. Date yourself well. Mend yourself well. Know that it's going to be a process, that there's healing involved, that there's like, you just have to take one step at a time. You don't have to know what it's going to look like. So yeah, I do need to wrap up soon. I have a 4 o'clock appointment. What else would you like to add, Dr. Shannon? And you have 400 episodes, 400 podcast episodes. Like, if you can just get the gist of that, you guys, if you want more inspiration, Dr. Shannon is the person. I can't keep up with you. You're so awesome. But what else would you like to share on this very theme of mending yourself well and for all of our summit audience members?
Well, the first thing, thank you for all your kind words. Look at the word sacred. Where I got this very sacred moment was when you look at the word scared, you make one minor adjustment, it becomes sacred. So it's from our fear, that those things that scare, that there is something very sacred there for us, waiting for us to recognize. And I talk about love. And, for years I've talked about love. I've written a book about it. I've had love lost. I know the pain of that. But it wasn't until I got the call in the middle of the night on February 17, 2016, when I found out that both my parents were killed in a car accident, that I realized in that moment, and every moment since then, that love is not the most important thing. It's the only thing that matters. I used to think it was the most important, but I'm telling you, Jenna, and to everyone who's watching, hear this, love is the only thing that matters. And you know something? In order to feel it, you must hear. There's a difference between feeling and feeding. Whatever you're feeding in your life will grow. And if you want love to grow, and put your attention and your focus there, because it's the only thing that really matters.
Mm-hmm. So you cut out briefly. So there's, you said love to feel it or to feed it, right?
Yeah, you
say that
feel
one more
it,
time.
You have to feel it, not feed it. And whatever it is that you're feeding,
great.
Okay, because if you're having your pain and you're having your struggles and you keep feeding that, it will grow. But if you feel it, you will heal it. And you feed love, and when you feed love, it'll allow you to feel it and heal it.
So good, so good. I love it. So you have a special offer for everybody who's watching. They can get your book. They can get an actual copy of your book, Date Yourself Well. They can get that for free as long as they pay the shipping and handling. So how can they find your book?
They can go to dateyourselfwell.com. So go to dateyourselfwell.com. Okay. You'll get a free book. You pay for shipping. And then I would also love to give a gift to, the viewers today. Dr. Jenna, I told you what that would be, and I would love to do that for somebody who is the lucky winner for.
Yes, we have a lucky winner. So I need your help. You're going to help me pick the winner from earlier today's giveaway. So Katie is giving away a free coaching session with her. So to find out who Katie's winner is, I'm going to have you help me pick a number between 2 and 91.
86.
80 what?
86.
86. That winner is Andrea Schiller. Awesome. She's a fellow chiropractor too. So that's cool. Yeah. So Andrea will be the winner of the Sacred Space consultation. And then on the next interview, we'll pick the winner for your consult. You're giving away a free 30-minute consult and book. That someone lucky will be chosen tomorrow, and we'll make sure to connect the two of you so that they can get that consult with you.
That would be great. And I'll send you the book. You don't have to do anything. So I will send that book, and then we can talk for a complimentary 30-minute consultation.
Awesome. I'll let you connect with them tomorrow when we announce the winner. Is there anything else that you want to add? I think a lot of people joining us are saying that's good. One person said, learning to turn scared into sacred. That resonates with me. I love it. So a lot of great comments. Thank you, Dr. Shannon. Is there anything else that you want to add?
When you're making love with your life and you're really becoming the true lover of your life, love yourself where you are today. Exactly where you are today. Because as you love, you will tap into the divine power and strength that will allow you to live a life that's working. And true living and loving your life is a life that's working.
I love it. I love your play on words. Everything you say, it's awesome. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you. And please join us tomorrow. Yes, and we'll be back tomorrow with another episode of this 21-day Facebook Summit. Thanks everybody and have a great day. Bye, Dr. Shannon.